Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Paddock Blues show. I'm Rhiad. I'm joined by Paul and Jamie, as always. How are you, lads?
So I'll meet you.
Yeah, not bad. How are you, Jamie?
Good. Sammy, yeah, very well, thanks.
Good. Right. So we've had a lot of transfer links in the past day or two, and the one and maybe two we've all been talking about is GNONTO and Jack Harrison. What do you make of them two, Jamie?
Um, I like the pair of them, to be honest. Like that Jack Harrison looks like he's got a bit of nastiness about him when I've seen him. Looks like he plays with a little bit. He plays with passion, which obviously we need and I shall want. And then Nakanato, I think he looks tricky, doesn't he? He's only like 19 or something as well,
Yeah.
that kid, isn't he? So, no, I'll be happy with either one. I don't think we'll get both, but either one.
Yeah. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I like the look of that. Is it Nonto or Gononto?
Yeah. No one
Should we just
knows how
call it?
to.
No
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I liked him when he first came to England. He looked like looked very tricky and he looked pacey and a threat, didn't he? I think the Leeds fans took to him straight away as well. So yeah, I think that's the type of profile that we need to be going to. But I am a big fan of that Jack Harrison. I think he's a really good player. Really,
Yeah.
really good player.
I'm the exact same. I think out of the two, I can definitely see Jack Harrison being more likely, as we said on Everton Extra Twitter. Jack Harrison he prefers to stay up north. He doesn't want to move down south to London. It's expected that he will leave Leeds this summer. Obviously, Gnonto's attracted a lot of interest from Italy and big clubs in the Prem, so I can definitely see Jack Harrison being more likely, but. I do. I really like Jack Harrison. I think he's a great player. And the only problem is with Everton is, are we going to be able to afford it? It's been reported that he's got a £16 million release clause. I mean, who will we have to sell, and where do we sell him, Paul?
I think he's better than Damari Gray, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say he was better than Damari Gray. So with Damari Gray, if the rumours are true and he was to go out the door, I think you're replacing him with a better player. Listen, I don't mind Damari Gray, by the way, but he's a 1 in 5. He can just go missing for a long time and then come up with a belter goal. But I think this Harrison is, from what I've seen, is more consistent. I know this sounds stupid, but he actually looks like an Everton player. Whatever an Everton
Yeah,
player looks like, he looks like one to me anyway. I
yeah,
think
definitely.
he spent time in America, didn't he? I think he come through City.
Yeah, he
And
did. Yeah,
he went to America and then he come back. So he's travelled as well, but yeah, he's the one for me. But I think Damari Gray, to answer to your question, could maybe fund a deal for Jack Harrison, possibly.
yeah. I think we spoke about this a few times on the pod as well. Obviously, we got the Marty Gray for 1.7 million. So basically anything above that, it's profit really, isn't it? So that's what Everton needs to be looking. And we've said it so many times over the past few years that we need a clear out, but it's never happened. And if the board now want to build, the obviously we won't go into Ken, right, but it's all in the air at the minute. But if we want to build as a club, we've gotta be looking for the future, and looking for the future at the minute is getting players in and getting players out, because the first step now is we need players out the door. And for the past year, we haven't been able to get anyone in, because it was like this in January, because we need outgoings and we need them fast. So if anyone could go, Jamie, if you could pick one player to go for Everton in the starting 11, who would it be? Obviously, we know we've got to sell assets. So regarding assets, who would it be for you?
Um, I think it's Amari Gray, mate, really, yeah. Amari Gray's
Yeah,
probably the only one because he is an inconsistent footballer. I don't remember his last goal, if I'm honest. I don't know where it come from. Don't think he scored in the Brighton 5-1.
He
Um,
was a penalty, wasn't it? In his Forest, was it?
yeah,
He
might
scored the
possibly,
penalty.
yeah, yeah. So that I think that was, you're talking, what was that, March, something like that, April. So
yeah,
as a forward as well, as a player who's been playing in a forward line, he hasn't scored as many goals as you'd like. And as Paul said, you get him one performance out of five, and the performance he does give, it's not spectacular. Where you're like, wow, this kid's got something.
yeah.
It's like a 7. I don't think I've ever seen Damari Gray have a 10, and that's not me being ultra negative, but I don't remember the last time he had a 10 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
But when you look at the likes of Dwight McNeil as well, we have seen 10 out of 10 performances. Obviously, the Brighton game, he
yeah,
was he was world class, and I think, like you said, 100%. I think Damari Gray, it wouldn't be that big of a miss for Everton if he
I'll
left.
throw another one in, and it's a bit controversial. Iwobi. Now, listen, I like Alex Iwobi's work rate, and he gives it 100% all the time. But if we're talking business, I think he's only got a year left, hasn't he, after this year?
Yeah.
And if the talks through he wants to play in Champions League football, then is it time to cash in on him?
I think so. I agree with you, Paul. I think if Iwobi wants to go and play Champions League football, which isn't very likely.
Would he play for Celtic?
Oh yeah,
Because they're in
definitely.
the Champions League.
If he's getting a wedge, definitely. But
Yeah.
no, I think it's gotta be assets out the door, and Iwobi is an asset to us because it's not like he's a bad player. I think after Frank Lampard, he's changed as a player, and he's very good. But I think another one for me, well, obviously the normal ones, Holgate, Keane, Maupay, and stuff like that. But I can't really see many teams buying these sort of players. Can you, Jamie?
I don't know, mate. I don't think we've ever put them out on the market, have we? Like, because it always seems like we're desperate to keep hold of them. If we brought a couple of players in and it was like, right, well, we can get rid of these now, the Holgates and the Keens, we can take what did Keane come for, like 20 million. We're obviously not going to get 20 million for them,
Yeah,
but I just look over. I know I hate bringing them up, but I always look over the other side and think they got like the likes of Dominic Solanke, like 25 million, like 12 million for that Danny Ward and stuff like that. And I think
yeah,
clubs will pay it. Club, it's usually Everton that pays it, like, but
yeah.
clubs will pay it. And I just think we've never really let them be in the market and go, right, Keane's up for sale, Holgate's up for sale, Gomez, Dele Alli,
I think
Mopai.
Everton's biggest worry at the minute is we've got a paper thin squad, and if they let anyone else go, they're worried that they're not going to be able to attract any players because we know how hard it is for Everton to attract players at the minute.
Yeah,
Obviously,
because
when
ideally I'd like to get Jack Harrison, Gnonto, keep Damari Gray and keep Iwobi, but it's just not realistic, is it?
no,
I don't think.
I can't see it happening because obviously if you've got teams like West Ham and stuff in competition for these sorts of players, they're not going to pick Everton over West Ham over European football. So
No.
100%, I think we need
Rhiad,
to.
I'll ask you something actually. You just put it to me, and Paul just said it. What is his name?
Willie.
Gononto,
Just call him Willie.
Willie.
I think it's a silent G. I just call him Gnonto.
Oh
Yeah.
dear. Why do we sound mad players? Michaelenko, where's Smithson in the Joneses of the world?
At the Browns.
In the Browns, yeah.
Yeah.
But if we get Willie and oh my god, and Jack Harrison, would you take them over Iwobi and Damari Gray? Would you have that if that was a straight swap?
It's a tough one for me because Jack Harrison and Damari Gray, it's a straight improvement. But with Willie, you're not you're not guaranteed, 10 goals and assists a season. And I think how many's well we got? I think he's got like 7 assists last season
Yeah.
and 3 goals. But I don't know, it's a tough one because ideally what we need now is someone who's gonna hit the ground running. I don't think Nonto's gonna do that. I don't think he's gonna come in and score 10 goals a season. Um, and I think it's just too big of a risk to replace Nonto with Alex Iwobi because Alex Iwobi hasn't had too many games where we thought, Jesus Christ, he's awful. But in the same time, he's had a few games where we thought, yeah, he's had a massive improvement. So honestly, I'm torn on that one. But Jack Harrison for me, it's a straight improvement for Damari Gray. What do you think of that, Paul?
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Jack Harrison, for me, would come in and he'd start producing straight away. Listen, with Everton, so he'd probably come in and be a bag of shite, but he'd come in and he'd get the goals and assists. I think he got 15, 16 goals, didn't he?
Yeah,
Not bad for a
team.
that's a relegated team. Like, and yeah, for me, it's an improvement on Damari Gray, Jack Harrison. But I do like Iwobi. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying let's flog Iwobi, he's deluding and all that, which I've
yeah,
seen a few people saying. But I just, if you give me a choice between that Gnonto and Iwobi, I'd pick Iwobi.
yeah. I think Everton aren't in the position now to be taking risks, and a lot of people are gonna disagree with me about obviously the Nonto situation. But Everton fans like unfamiliar faces. We like new people coming in. But whether you like it or not, Iwobi's a less risk-free player, shall we say? And
he is probably our most creative player,
yeah, he
which is
is,
not
and
saying a lot, but he is.
he's the most creative out of like the bottom 14, isn't he? Bottom
Yeah.
14. So yeah, Iwobi for me over Nonto, and I don't even think we're gonna have the funds to afford Nonto anyway. Moving on to a man we've talked about a lot on this podcast, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all Everton fans when I say that we won't Victor Gyökeres, but according to a bowler in Portugal, yeah, the name is a bowler.
Yeah.
Everton are set to launch a bid this week for Gyökeres, but at the same time, Sporting are also in contention. What do you think of that, Jamie?
I think that's down to the lad. If listen, if he wants to play in the Premier League at Everton, then obviously he picks Everton. But if he wants to go to Portugal, get in the Champions League most years, sorry, and just sort of live a boss life in Portugal, it's down to him. It's literally down to him. Obviously, Coventry City are going to take whoever offers the most money, and that's how football works. But if they both match the bids and he's got the choice, we should be beating. If the kid's got ambition, we should be beating Sporting Lisbon to a striker, especially one if he wants to play in the Premier League.
Oh yeah, I agree with you definitely. I think Gyökeres, obviously we've had competition from Brighton and Brentford and the likes of that. What do you think of Gyökeres, Paul? Obviously we spoke a lot about him. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I like the look of him. I mean, truthfully, I haven't seen him that many times, but the times I have seen him, he looks like he's got a touch of class about him. I was surprised for a striker, he's got a great touch. He gets a lot of assists. I think 12, 13 assists from a centre forward is that's Harry Kane stuff. That I know what I mean. Actually, I'm not comparing him to Harry Kane, by the way, but I'm just saying Harry Kane gets his fair share of assists, doesn't he? But I think Jamie's touched on something there, which it's the law of the Premier League. Would he want to go to the Super League, is it in Portugal, or have a chance in the Premier League? And I think the Premier League, especially in Swedish as well, so we'll probably be grown up with watching Premier League football match of the day and all that. I think it'll be too hard for him to turn down. So I think he will pick a Premier League club. Now, whether we could compete with Brentford, I don't know, because they're going to need someone to replace Ivan Toney while he's out for that ban. So that worries me a little bit. But I'd still like to think that we've got more of a pull than them, but our league position says that we haven't, but maybe I'm just deluded there. I
mean, we've got in the summer, all we can do is rely on Kevin Thelwell and Sean Dykes to lure these players in and feed them a lot of stuff and say, look, we've got these plans in place. I don't know why I'm saying all this because we know Everton and there's no plans in place, but
well, look how sunny it is in Liverpool, so just show them all the pictures of how
it's
sunny
better
it is.
than Portugal, mate.
Yeah, you'll definitely come here. Costa del Crosby and all that. Come on, get
just
yourself
take
down
us to
here.
the new stadium and go, look, you be the centre forward to move into this.
Look, we've got water sports and everything there, lad. Get yourself down here.
Yeah, I really like the look of Gyökeres and obviously we spoke a lot about him, but it's an ongoing cycle of transfer rumours with Gyökeres because we've been linked to him for about a year now, and obviously Coventry fans rate him very highly, and there's a lot of competition, but at the minute it's just how do Everton attract players given the past 2 seasons we've had? It's just I can't see it happening for me.
To be honest with you, Rhiad, though, with our centre forward situation, anyone who comes in now knows that they're going to be playing every week.
Yeah, you're spot on.
You're guaranteed first team football because we've seen Calvert-Lewin. He's training hard, I think he's in Munich and stuff like that. But let's be honest, we can't rely on him until he shows us otherwise that he can be relied upon fitness-wise. So Gyökeres might look at it and his representative and say, if you go there, you're going to be playing every single week.
Yeah, it looks like Brentford are the main rivals in the race for Gyökeres, but I think Everton do have the edge over that because in 8 months Tony's going to come back and Tony starts over Gyökeres, so I think it's more of a short-term option for Gyökeres, and I think right now he's going to be wanting like well, obviously he's in the Championship with Coventry, so he's gonna wanna move to the Premier League to stay there for a few seasons, maybe a stepping stone club if he can move on to bigger things. But I do think we have the edge over Brentford, obviously, like you said, with the striker situation. Anyway, we We recently heard the news, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he's been released by Arsenal. Obviously this is a man who's been linked to Everton before, and if I remember correctly, he was trying to force a move out to Everton not so long ago.
Yeah.
He
And
ended up at West Brom on loan, didn't he?
yeah, and as we expected,
Or
a couple of
Southampton, one of
a
them.
couple of hours later, he's linked with a move to Everton. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles, he's a very versatile player, and I do rate him. What do you think? What do you think of him, Paul?
Yeah, I just think he's because of the number of positions he can play in, he's perfect. But if you're trying to build a squad up, like you said, we're paper thin, so we need cover in most areas. You know, Nathan Patterson's injured a lot, Coleman's getting on, Mikalenko, Godfrey. So yeah, Maitland-Niles can play right back, left back, playing centre mid as well, can't he?
Yeah,
So yeah, I'd be for that one. Like, yeah, how old is he? Do we know how old he is?
I think he's quite young, like 24, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
I'll look it up. You just carry on talking.
Was he
Sorry,
out
shouldn't have
on
read that
was
one.
he out on loan at Southampton last year?
25 years. 25.
25, yeah. So he's
Oh,
still
it's not
young
really.
enough
It's
to.
not. Yeah.
He's still young enough to turn it around, isn't he?
I think in his early career, obviously 21, 22, he was fantastic for Arsenal, and I can imagine Arsenal to be a little bit unhappy that he's been moved on, but obviously I can't see him getting game time for Arsenal. But I do really like Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I think that's exactly what we need, like you said, Paul. A versatile player who can play in lots of positions, because it's something Everton really lack at the minute.
Yeah.
Um, Especially across the back line, with obviously with the right back problems we've had, and the Mikalenko problem. Um, so yeah, I do really like Maitland-Niles. What do you think of him, Jamie?
I'm a bit torn with him. Only because I know we're saying like he can play left back and right back and stuff like that and centre mid, but I don't know. I think we've got a boss player in that James Garner. I just think I know that Maitland-Niles. You sort of if he was to come in the team, it would be for, in my opinion, the James Garner spot. It's not going to be for the Tom Davis's spot, a fourth choice. So I just think he sort of he's throwing out a contract at a player who's, because he's free and he's left Arsenal. I don't know, but then as you say, he could be a player where he comes in and goes, yeah, he makes the bench look a bit stronger than it has been the last few weeks. But I don't know, you're buying players for the bench when I just think we're not in Europe. We put a couple run together every now and then. I think, what? How big do we need the squad in that sort of area?
I
Yeah,
counter that though because we seen at the end of the season that we had a left winger playing left back and a centre midfielder playing right back. Now he's a natural right back and he's played left back naturally.
yeah,
So if you come across, we nearly went down. We stayed up by a point, 2 points. So we need play. You need a squad. I've said this for a while. You need a better squad than what Everton have got. Tom Davis, Mason Allgate, Michael Keane. They need throwing in the bin and replace with better players. And
yeah,
they might not look glamorous players, but you do need squad fillers, in my opinion.
yeah. The next one is a free agent again. He's been linked to Everton, by Fabrizio Romano not so long ago. Fabrizio Romano's also made another comment on him. It's Moussa Dembele. He's described him as an option for Everton. Obviously, we know he's a striker. He's 26. He's just been at Lyon, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Paul, what you think of Moussa Dembele? I haven't watched too much of him.
He had a bad goal scoring record last season, didn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't score many. But I think that's his only really bad season. I could be wrong there.
Yeah, no,
Um,
you're spot on. You're spot on. It was Lacazette who got in front of him, and he's
yeah.
really started for Lyon.
I think he's 26 as well. I know he
Mhm.
was really good at Celtic. On a free transfer, yeah, I'd say get him in. Yeah, definitely better than. It's not much of a barometer, but he's better than Neil Maupay.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what you've got to be thinking. Is he better than this player? It just depends to me on the wages. Jamie, what do you think of Moussa Dembele?
Yeah, I was going to say about the wages, but I'm not really that bothered how much they pay him. It's not my money. You know, at the end of the day, I don't care if they
Yeah,
put him on. People might go, well, why are we giving him 120 grand a week? If he scores 15 goals from now to the end of the season, I couldn't care what he's on.
Give him £1 million a week. I've still got to go
Yeah.
to work tomorrow.
Exactly. So I don't care. If only if it's a free transfer, you know what I mean. If we're paying 30, if Leon were to say we want 20 million quid for him, you're a bit like, nah.
Yeah.
But for a free transfer, mate, in my all day, all
He's
day.
he's he's proven he can score goals. Obviously, I think the season before last he was superb. He had a great goal scoring record. Lacazette's just held him back a bit. He hasn't really started too much for Leon. He's came off the bench a lot. I think 3 goals in 21 appearances. But the season before last he was phenomenal. He had a great goal scoring record. I think as on a free, it is a risk-free option because he's proven at Celtic. I think he scored 2 goals against Man City in the Champions League, and Pep said he was a great player. I do like the look of Moussa Dembele.
The right
Uh,
age as well.
he is,
Should be
yeah,
just coming into his prime soon, 26, 27, 28.
yeah,
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Lastly, Sean Dyche has said, well, reportedly said he wants a striker, and obviously it's stating the obvious because all Everton fans know we need a striker. Paul, who is your ideal option for up front?
Ideally, I would love Robert Lewandowski or Karim Benzema or Harry Kane or something like that. But
Erling Haaland.
realistically, I think we've already discussed them. I think that Gyökeres
Yeah,
is the way to go for us. Like, I can't really
yeah,
think of anybody else, to be honest with you. They're a premium in football. It's getting a finding a striker who's going to hopefully score you the goals. Calvert-Lewin, for me, we all know I'm a big, massive fan of Calvert-Lewin. You keep him fit, then we're sorted. But
yeah.
that's the $1 million question. We can't keep him fit, can we?
It's a tough one with strikers because Calvert-Lewin about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, he was a massive, massive asset for Everton. He could have went for 70, 80 million. If you've got an English striker, number 9, scoring 12, 13 goals a season, we've seen it with Tony as well. Like, they go for a lot of money, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, Calvert-Lewin's had his injury problems. But Calvert-Lewin, he's got it in him to be a solid number 9, and we've seen that with under Ancelotti. But like you said, it is hard to find a striker. Jamie, who's your ideal striker for the summer?
Ideally, and it's probably someone I've wanted Everton to try and buy for ages, but we wouldn't get him. It'd take a lot of money. But Ollie Watkins, I
Yeah,
think if Aston
Yeah.
Villa were to go out and sign a centre forward, for whatever 14 million quid, I everyone think, oh, no, Ollie Watkins is not going to play here. I'd love Everton to just go right. Let's go and try and get him.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his as well. That's a good
Yeah,
shout, that.
but it's unrealistic. Listen, he's just got into Europe with Aston Villa. He's probably going to be there number 9. But no, I think that Gyökeres kid. I think why not? He's come in the championship, and let's be honest, me and Paul remember signing players from the championship, the Kales, the Lescotts, the Baines. These people, they work because they work hard, and being
yeah,
at Everton Football Club is just they're in awe of it. They're like, wow, look where I am, and they just work hard because sounds mad and cliche, but they work hard for the badge because they're desperate to stay where they are.
yeah. Spot on. Touching on Gyökeres, I think obviously he's only young as well, and that
Yeah.
adds to the fight that he's going to show if he joined Everton. I think looking at him and watching him, he does look like a really fighting person when he's on the pitch. So I think he would be an ideal fit for Everton. Obviously, we haven't got much choice at the minute, but for me, it would,
It's the next logical step. I mean,
yeah,
Coventry
Yeah.
to Everton, and then people won't like it, but players will use it as a stepping stone. They're not Evertonians. They don't feel about Everton the way we do. So Everton is a stepping stone. So
it is,
Everton
yeah.
to a Champions League team. That's the way to go. Hopefully, win us a cup while he's here, and he'd
I
be a
mean,
legend then.
if they do
Yeah.
the job for us and we make a profit on them, I honestly don't see the problem on it because that is how you build a football team. We can't expect to be not a stepping stone at the minute. We can't expect to be a team who everyone wants to join because that's what we are. We're a stepping stone, and we have been for years with the likes of Lukaku and John Stones and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree. I agree with you both, Gyökeres. I also like the look of Ollie Watkins too. Is there anything
Yeah.
else you want to add?
There
Uh,
was
no,
there was actually
not me
someone that I
personally.
was thinking of who'd went down, and I don't know whether you're gonna get all you would get him, but that would anyone take Jamie Vardy?
I have said this. I said this right after the season ended.
Yeah,
I probably would. Yeah, I'd take him. Yeah.
Someone direct. He's just a little bit nasty, and he's a bit. He'll
yeah.
probably want to prove himself. I
Shithouse.
can't see him leaving because, you know, he's won the league with them and could have went to Arsenal and all that. I think he'll stay there. But I was just thinking about, I seen a news report and it was like, oh my God, he's been relegated then. Wonder if you could just sort of tempt him back into the Prem. But they'll say like I think he's retired from England, so you couldn't really use that. But Tom, maybe you could tempt him back.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad shout. I mean, again, sorry, him or Neil Maupay,
Exactly. Patrick
Jamie
Bamford.
Vardy.
Yeah, and
Oh,
we haven't got much to aim for.
I wouldn't go with the Bamford one, like.
No, I didn't think of the I've seen these are just things I've seen like
Yeah,
like people say, oh, Ward Prowse has been relegated, and I think it was like a bit of an article of players that'll go because they've been relegated, Harvey Barnes and all that. But I
he
seen
doesn't
that
look like
Patrick
he's going to
Bamford.
go anywhere, does he, Ward-Prowse? Sorry, he doesn't look.
No.
Because he was doing the modelling for the new kit today. No,
Well, we know how that goes.
Yeah.
With Everton.
Yeah. Well, I've got a question for you because I've seen it, a topic of conversation. People are saying, why are we going for relegated players? Have you got a problem with going for relegated players?
No, Doucouré. Look at Doucouré. I think he's brilliant for us. We got him straight after the
Jordan Pickford.
There you go. Spot on.
Yeah.
I think there's
yeah.
players in bottom side teams like James Maddison and stuff like that. They shouldn't be playing in the Championship. So I honestly don't see the problem in it. We're getting a great player at a discounted fee because they're in the Championship.
Yeah.
Didn't that Scottish Bull come from Hull?
Andy Robertson.
Don't say
Yeah.
it.
Harry Maguire as well.
Harry Maguire.
When Harry Maguire, once upon a time, Harry Maguire was a decent footballer, by the way. So
no, but it has happened though, hasn't it? Many teams got relegated and there's players in there. Let's be honest, if we'd have gone down, there'd have been players too good for the Championship in our team.
Yeah, definitely.
Onana and Idrissa Gueye and stuff like that, Pickford. So people would have been sniffing around them. So why can't we do that?
Spot on.
Yeah.
That's the bin we've got to look in.
Yeah,
it is. It's bargain basement stuff, isn't it? That's basically what it is.
That is.
So
that's all we've got for today, lads. Hopefully we see a few more transfer rumours over the next few days. But thank you and up the toffees.